Welcome to today's episode of Dream, Believe, and Achieve. Today we're going to talk about mindfulness. Often when people think about mindfulness, they think about meditation, but there's so much more to mindfulness than just meditation. Meditation is a form of mindfulness, but there's so many other things that we can do to be in the present moment. Today specifically, I'm going to talk about mindful eating and drinking. Have you ever grabbed a bag of chips and got to the bottom of the bag of chips and wondered how you got there? Have you ever sat down for a meal and at the end thought, oh, I've ate too much? I feel stuffed or full, sluggish and bloated. We're often running through our lives not paying attention to what's happening with the present moment, but we're either thinking about the future or reminiscing or ruminating about the past. Mindful eating is a simple way to be in the present moment, and you'll enjoy your food and drink more. You may find that it helps you from not overeating. And when you choose a snack, like I have today, I've chosen a Kit Kat as a little snack. And if I'm going to mindfully eat this, because I don't eat things like this very often, it's nice to pay attention when we do so we can really enjoy those treats, whether they're sugary, salty, sweet, or sour, or whatever you're eating. Because it's a nice hot day, this particular treat is already melty. But when I eat it today, I'm gonna think about the crunch. I'm going to hold it in my mouth, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm really focusing on what I'm eating. So whether I'm observing it while I'm eating, I'm going to chew carefully and slowly and just really enjoy the process. You can do the same thing with your favorite beverage. Instead of rushing, try sitting down with your favorite coffee or your favorite tea, holding the mug, paying attention to the mug or the cup that it's in. How does it feel on your hands? Or how does that cold beverage feel in your hands? And just really use your five senses to enjoy your food or drink. When you're engaging your five senses in mindfulness eating or drinking, I want you to think, what does it smell like? So whether it's your freshly brewed coffee and you're taking a big whiff of it, or that snack that you have, what does it smell like? What does it sound like? Whether you're taking a sip and there's a bit of a slurp, whether you're swishing it around in your glass, or whether you're crunching down on it. Is it crunchy? What sounds do you hear when you're engaging in mindfulness eating and drinking? Okay, so I've talked about smell, sound, touch. What does it feel like? If it's your hot cup of coffee, maybe you're feeling the outside cup and you probably don't want to stick your fingers into it because it's going to be too hot. But if it's a bowl of nuts, put a nut in your hand, run it through your finger. What other ways could you engage your sense of touch in mindfulness eating or drinking? And again, depending on what you're eating, if it's something like a burger that you can eat with your hands, what does that feel like in your hand? Really think about that while you're engaged in this process. What does it look like? Take a really close look, whether it's your coffee and you're swirling it around in your cup. What color do you see? What do you notice in it? If it's a bubbly beverage, can you watch the bubbles percolate up? If it's a food item, really look at it with a beginner's mindset or seen it before. And that might feel kind of strange or unusual, but you'll be surprised at what you see when you do an activity like this. So if you have a handful of almonds, take one of them in your hand and bring it up and really take a look at it. What are the grooves on the almond? Is it sliced almonds? Is it a full almond? What are the colors? What do you observe about the outside of it? If it's an apple and you bite into it, take a look in the inside and the outside and really look at it like you've just discovered it and it's the first time you're ever seeing it. How would you describe it to somebody else? The last part is obviously, what does it taste like? So after you've observed it visually, you've smelt it, you physically touched it in your hands maybe, or come close to touching it, depending on what the food or drink is. Your last sense that you're going to look at is the actual taste. So slow this process right down. Pretend that this is the first sip of coffee you've ever had, the first sip of your tea, or the first time you've bitten into an apple or a Kit Kat or whatever snack, almond that you have in front of you, and really savor it. So slow down the process, chew slowly, listen to the sounds as you're eating or drinking, and really think about the taste and the flavors within whatever you're eating or drinking. Again, some of this might feel a little uncomfortable or silly, but if you've ever traveled to a different place and experienced a different food or drink that you haven't had before, this is often when our senses are most engaged because it's something new. So we want to take you back to that beginner's mindset where you're totally focused on the present. And one of the easiest ways, in my experience, to do that is mindful eating or drinking, to really slow you down and enjoy the present moment. You'll find that your food tastes better, your drink tastes better than you could ever imagine. It's going to help reduce those anxious thoughts, whether you're thinking about the past or the future. It's going to bring you into the moment. If you're in a beautiful place like we are today, it's going to allow you to really experience that place instead of thinking about what's next, what do I have to do, or what happened yesterday. Mindful eating is one of my favorite mindfulness activities, probably because I like to eat, but also because I find it's one of the easier activities. For me to sit and meditate, I'm still struggling with that. It is a practice, but I often find my mind wanders. But with mindful eating or mindful drinking, I have been able to slow myself down and really experience the meal or experience the snack in a way that I wasn't able to before I started focusing in on it. So I'm going to suggest that you try this strategy today. Find your favorite snack or think about it at your next meal, that you put your phone down, you focus on where you are, you ignite your five senses, and truly experience your meal, your drink, or your snack. So please go and try this. I'd love to hear what food or beverage you use and what you learned in the process. Comment below, tell us, and of course follow me if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks, see you next time.